Cam, you've been in this position before when you've needed a late season run to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to reinforce that for the younger guys who haven't been around that, even though things are going bad right now, that things can turn around?
Yeah, you reinforce it. I think it starts with your habits, get back to just good technique, and you play with energy. I think with our group, we have the makings of a good roster, and we don't have to look around. We take care of our business. We control our destiny.
I know you guys don't play season to season and things like that, where you're thinking about last season and everything like that, but considering the last time you played those guys and the rushing yards you gave up and then the rushing yards you just gave up last week, is there more urgency to be like, okay, listen, enough is enough?
Urgency, pride in what you do, and understanding that they're going to try and duplicate it. So all those things come into mind, but we can only answer on Sunday, but we got to prepare that way.
Cam, are there similar issues in those two games? I mean, obviously the yardage, but I mean...
Different things. In our last game, there was a lot of, getting on the edge. When you look at Derrick Henry, when he gets started, he has a lot of success. So it's about getting multiple guys to the ball, staying in our gaps, being patient. A couple times, you look at the game last year, we kind of just, weren't patient enough and let the ball just come straight to you.
Prior to those two games, you guys were one of the few teams that had done pretty well against them in that regard. So what did you find that their counter was to you guys going in those two games?
Turnovers definitely help. But I also think, making those situational plays a couple times, third and long or, third down especially, we weren't making those plays when we lost, and they were converting drives.
It was around this time last year that things went sideways for you guys. Did you learn anything from that, or is there anything you can do differently this time around to make sure that slide doesn't happen?
I think we all got to just play better. You look at that stretch. We didn't have. We had We had a string of games where we just didn't play our best ball. Whether it's winning the turnover battle, winning the rushing battle, controlling the sudden change. Especially in that game we played last time, I think the offense turned the ball over around the 10 or 15 yard, and it was already 7-7, and then they were able to, move the ball and control the line of scrimmage again. So, one, we got to finish with touchdowns. Two, when our offense does turn over the ball, defense has got to respond in the right way.
Cam, there was this theory last year, the condensed schedule part of it kind of wore everybody down and out. You're playing a lot of snaps as a defense this year. What's left in the tank right about now?
A lot left in the tank. You sign up to play football. You don't sign up to count heartbeats. We got to do whatever it takes to get the job done. You've seen teams. You look at that Super Bowl in 05. They had to have a string of games late to really qualify for the playoffs. So, one, you got to get off the field when you can. But two, whatever comes in front of you, you got to go out and attack.
Kim, you played with Ben. He said on a podcast earlier, the clean house comment. There's been James Harrison saying things. As a guy that's been around in this organization for a long time, do you put stock, or what do you make of former players of that stature saying things like that?
I don't worry about anybody who's not in the locker room. It's not a diss at them. I think we just got to worry about the guys in here and focus at the job at hand. There's a lot of football to be played. Not running from our job. We got to answer for it. Keep it moving.
Cam, Mike, your coach said the other day that you need to talk to the team about the frustration levels, and especially when it involves one of the team captains from the game.
Yeah.
Was that something that needed to be talked about? What was it? What was the discussion?
Just owning my mistake. Cooler heads will prevail. I'm past that. Coach addressed it. Go from it.
You were pretty heated after the game about it. Are you still frustrated by how it went?
I'm not even worried about that. I got bigger things to worry about. Baltimore Ravens, we're going over there to play. If you're not focused on the Baltimore Ravens, shame on you. We got a big game. It's for the lead in our division, so that's where my focus is at right now.
Confidence is a big thing, and look, you got to be confident to get to this level of football. Yeah. But when you don't have anything much on tape in the last 2 months that you can draw from it, like, hey, we're doing well. Is it hard to find that confidence, and how do you sort of?
No, I think there's a lot you can draw from our tape. I think it's just being consistent. It's been up and down play, but you got to focus on those good plays, and you got to learn from those bad plays. And I think our group hopefully is doing that right now. And we'll see what happens on Sunday.
What can you focus on in that regard to make sure, and I know this might not be Henry's specialty to the same degree that it was Cook's, but making sure that Derek doesn't do damage on the edge like Cook did?
Get multiple guys to the ball. I think this game is, he will make 1 or 2 guys miss, but if you can get 4 or 5 guys, I love to see 11 at the ball. But, when you have multiple hitters, you can't juke a ball.
You had a hot end of last season. What did you attribute to just a person your age being able to contribute late in the season the way you did?
Yeah, just, a staff believing in me, a quarterback believing in me, and then just preparing every single day. Even last year when I was out for a few games, just trying to stay locked in, stay dialed in, focus on what I can control, and then be available and ready when it was my chance to go make a play.
When you went on waivers, was this on your radar as a destination?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And what made you feel that this might be a possible place for you to come?
Yeah, I think, where the situation that they're in, that we're in, and just the opportunity to come and make an impact. But again, there's so much out of your control at that point. So just trying to talk to my agent, get a grasp for what teams had needs at that position, and then see what happened.
Adam, you mentioned possibly making an impact. How do you feel that you could help this team?
Yeah, at this point, just really focused on what I can control, and that's learning this playbook as fast as possible. I want to make an impact today. I'm not even worried about Sunday right now. I want to make an impact today by being prepared, being mentally prepared and physically prepared. And at the end of the day, I'm a big believer that you got to go prove it every day. You can't show up somewhere and just be given an opportunity. You have to go prove what you can do, how you can make an impact, so then they believe in you and trust in you and can give you those opportunities. So for me, it's just going out there every day like I'm a rookie mini camp tryout guy and trying to prove what I can do and whatever they see that fit is, I'm ready for it.
With the limited practice reps, are there other ways you can prove it, like in a classroom or things like that?
Well, I got to prove it to myself first. So yeah, in the classroom, just being really confident and knowing my stuff. Knowing the different checks, knowing the different alerts, and then just, I think just making sure that they're comfortable with what I know and how well I know it, and then see what happens.
Is Arthur's offense similar to anything that you've had before?
Well, I think it's similar stuff that I've done, but different verbiage, not the same terminology that I've ever been a part of, but yeah, similar stuff.
Were you aware last year, trade deadline, they were somewhat interested in you?
Yeah.
Were you disappointed, or are you just happy that they were interested in you that made you maybe come here now?
Disappointed is, what do you mean by that?
They didn't make the trade.
Oh, gotcha. For me, to be honest with you, I'm living in the moment. Whatever today brings me, I'm going to give it everything I have. And I feel like when I'm done with my career, I can look back and I can say that everywhere I've been, I've given everything I've had, and I can feel really good about that. So I say that to say that I remember those times, and definitely brought it full circle now being here. And obviously, at that point, they must have had a belief in what I could do and what I could bring. So it makes me feel really good about being here.
Adam, you played in some rivalry games in the NFC North. If you get dropped into Steelers, Ravens, and Baltimore, what would that emotion be like for you?
Pretty crazy, yeah, pretty cool. Just like you said, the battles that we had in the North, those rivalries. There's just nothing like that. And storied franchises with great fan bases that are very passionate and are used to winning big games. It's why you play this game. It's why you show up every single day. It's why when those lights come on, you're like, oh, I'm not going to retire for a long time, because you're like, man, there's nothing better. It's the training camp days and all the other stuff that make you think about retirement. But when you show up to a game like that, the energy and the atmosphere from both sides, and then just the physicality and the difference. I think back about some of the rivalries I had in the past. Every game didn't matter who was good, who wasn't. It was a huge game, and it was a 60-minute fought battle no matter what. So that's what you play for.
Is purple being the bad guys going to be a big adjustment too?
Say that again.
Purple being the bad
that's a
guys
good point. I didn't
adjustment.
even think about that. But at the end of the day, I always tell these people is like, yeah, rivalry games are obviously important, but like the way that the league has been created is every game's so important. So whoever's across that field from you is like, that's a rival, right? So, but yeah, it'll be a little different going against the purple.
I believe you played against the Ravens already this year. So is there anything you could take from that game that you played earlier that will help you this week?
Probably not. I mean, I'm sure there's things, but it's just different teams.
Personnel standpoint, maybe the way, certain players in the secondary might, use their technique from a cover standpoint, anything such as that?
Yeah, no, there definitely is. I mean, I think it'd be different if you're like a quarterback or offense coordinator, things like that. As a receiver, like they tell us what to do and you go do it. There's a little things that you can get from like, okay, how guys play in press coverage and how they play off. But to be honest, I didn't play a whole lot in that game, so I don't really have too much tells from that.
Last year, you caught 7 of the 13 deep balls thrown your way. 4 of those were touchdowns. 2 of them were contested. What were you able to channel to get the deep part of your passing game open? And typically, a lot of people think of young speedsters when they think about that, not guys who are more technician route runners like yourself.
Yeah, I think I take it back to what I said earlier, just like proving it every day and getting that trust from my quarterback, getting that trust from the offense coordinator that they're putting me in those positions to go do that. I've always had a lot of confidence in what I can do as a football player. I still feel that I can run all the routes and that I can be a deep threat, intermediate, and short. So I think sometimes, like you said, as an older player, you get tagged as, oh, you can only do this, can't run anymore. I've always felt the need to go prove otherwise. So I feel really good and excited about just being on the field.
You were over here for about a half hour while we were in the locker room. What were you able to do? What are you trying to get out of that time to accelerate this?
Yeah, I mean, the more that I can actually hear a call, line up, talk about what I have, talk about the entire concept, so not just what the Z has or just what the F has, but what everybody has, the more that I can do that, the more I'm going to be ready for a game. Because at the end of the day, you can look at a play call, you can look at a picture of the play, but until you actually hear it, have to line up, and then execute it, and then on top of that, all the different checks and things that you can get to in different situations, I need to be dialed in on all that. So, yeah, just thankful that got a lot of great teammates that are staying after and walking through those plays with me and talking, both the backup quarterbacks just going through a bunch of stuff with me has been fantastic, and really starting to feel more comfortable every time that I really get those walk-through, really live walk-through reps. Makes me feel more comfortable.
It's been 3 straight games this team has been able to connect on a deep ball downfield. Have you gotten a sense of urgency from sitting in the receiving room to try to get those big plays to break open? Just hopping on the moving train and seeing where this group is at.
Yeah, I think it gets interesting sometimes, just from past experience of like, oh man, we got to hit the deep ball. We got to hit the deep ball. I think at the end of the day, like you just gotta go win, and that stuff will start happening. And that's what I've seen in my very, very short time here is just guys that practice going to winning and making plays in practice. That's where it starts, right? That's how you fix problems. Is you go out and practice, you practice hard, you go prove what you can do, and you make those plays in practice to give everybody confidence, right? The coordinator, the head coach, the play caller, or the quarterback, right? Like those, you got to go make those plays in practice to give them confidence, so then they kind of feel really good about taking those shots in a game. And that's what I've seen from the guys, just going out there and winning and catching the football.
Are you going to retire after the season? Are you saying that? Okay.
Yeah, I did make a statement and put it in there, which I probably shouldn't have put that in there. But no, yeah, I mean, I think after every season I've really really just kind of come together with my family and really just prayed about it. Really thought about bigger picture of what that looks like. And I did say that. I mean, obviously things can change. But yeah, I feel, again, like I think I said it earlier, just I feel like I've given everything I've had for so long that I can feel really good about it if that's what it looks like, which it feels that way as of right now.
Are you able to stay in the moment, or do you know you already you've done this your whole life, do you only have a month or well, maybe 2 months or whatever left? Do you able to stay in the moment, or do you let yourself get sentimental about it, or are you just trying to get going to playbook and then?
Well, the great part right now is I can barely, I'm just so in the moment, right? I'm just so focused on what I need to do that I'm not really thinking about that. But again, I feel like every step of my career, I've taken full advantage of every single opportunity as far as really soaking it up, right? Like just giving everything I have. I never wanted to leave this game with regrets. And the way that I could avoid that was just giving everything I had, and I can live with the outcomes, right? Whether they're good or bad, I can live with the outcomes if I give everything I have, and that's what I'm going to do these next couple of days and next few weeks and see what happens.
All right, Mark, last one.
Was it tough knowing that you said your career is going to be over after now? Was it tough to leave the Minnesota where you spent the majority of your career to say, okay, I'm just going to play it out here and end where I started? Extremely tough.
Yeah, extremely tough. It really wore on me mentally, yeah, tough. Yeah, absolutely, very, very, very tough. But again, just excited to have an opportunity. Very thankful for this organization, the people in the locker room. I texted my wife actually today, and I said, "Man, I've had so many powerful conversations since I've got here, and zero of those powerful conversations had to do with football." So very thankful for that.